Welcome to the module on rigid payments. Today we will be discussing the basic operations of PQC paving, like what all the controls are required, how to start the PQC paving, what are the importances of different parts of a paver, and so on. So the slip form paving tray shall consist of a self-propelled paver machine which spreads, compacts and finishes the concrete in a continuous operation. As you can see in the photograph, the paving machine is just opposite to your screen and is ready to be paved. The separation membrane is being laid between the PQC paver and the subbase or DLC in this particular case. The slip form paving machine shall compact the concrete by internal vibrations and shape it between the side forms with either a conforming plate or by vibrating and oscillating finishing beam. This particular type of Ridgens machine is comprised of oscillating beam, oscillating finishing beam. So the level of the conforming plate and finishing beam shall be controlled automatically by the guide wires installed by sensors attached to the four corners of the slip form paving machine. The alignment of the paver shall be controlled automatically from the guide wires by at least one set of sensors attached to the paver. So the front portion is the auger, which is being followed by the screed, the vibrator, the tamper, and the profile plane, and then the final slab. So when the paver moves, the auger rotates at its position and takes the material inside, which is being vibrated using the screed and the vibrating machines. The alignment and level of ancillary machines for finishing, texturing and curing of the concrete shall be automatically controlled relative to the guide wires or to the surface and edge of an adjoining hardened slabs. The feeding to the paver shall be regulated in such a way that the paving is done in an uninterrupted manner with a uniform speed throughout the day's work. That means the output or the production from the batching plant, the transportation and then the paving speed should be at sync so that whatever is being produced is being paved uniformly with a consistent quality. The total time taken from the addition of water to the mix until the completion of the surface finishing and texturing shall not exceed 120 minutes when the concrete temperature is less than 25 degrees centigrade and shall not be exceed 90 minutes when the concrete temperature is more than 25 degrees centigrade. Freshly mixed concrete from the central batching plant and mixing plant shall be transported to the paver side by means of trucks or trippers of sufficient capacity in adequate numbers to ensure a constant supply of concrete. The PQC mix transported moves in the reverse direction to reach the paver to feed. PQC mix loaded trucks should roll over the Hessian cloth or gunny bags or old and used conveyor belts placed on separation membrane to protect the separation membrane from damage due to the movement of the vehicles or application of brakes by the vehicle. The tipper trucks shall be capable of maintaining the mixed concrete in a homogeneous state and discharging the same without segregation and loss of cement slurries. The PQC mix being transported in dumpers is dumped in front of the paver to pave. The PQC mix being checked for a slump, which should be 25 plus minus 15 millimeters for smooth paving operations. The uniformity or consistency of the mix is being generally measured using a slump test. As the consistency is maintained, the paving quality will also be maintained as the same set of frequencies, set frequencies of vibrators can be used in order to pave the material using the paver. The PQC mix being dumped in front of the paver should be as close as possible, which can be spread across using a spreader attached to the pavers. Generally, the dumped PQC mix is spread or feeded close to the paver using the loader so that the paver can take the material easily using the auger. Slip-form paving machine shall have vibrators of variable frequencies and power with a maximum energy output of not less than 2.5 kilowatt per meter width of slab per 300 millimeters depth of slab for a laying speed up to 1.5 meters per minute. The vibratory trails are resulted when vibrators vibrate at a very high frequency. To avoid vibratory trails, the frequency of vibrators should be adjustable in the range of 8,000 to 10,000 Hz at a paving speed of 0.8 to 1 meter per minute. The paver should have a vibrator sensing system to provide a real-time readout of vibration frequencies for all of the vibrators and to give an alarming signal to the operator in case of high or low frequencies or total loss of vibrations. Handheld devices may also be used for checking the vibrations periodically. The minimum length of dowel bars shall be 500 millimeters, keeping in view the requirement of low transfer and placement errors designed as per IRC 58. Dowel bars shall be covered with a thick plastic sheath for at least 60% of the length from one end of the dowel bar in contraction joints or half the length plus 50 millimeters for expansion joints. Paver shall have a dowel bar inserter to place the dowel bars at the time of laying of concrete. Dowel bar inserters should be capable of holding the dowels properly while inserting them. It shall ensure consolidation of concrete around the inserted dowel bars, leaving no marks of being pressed inside the concrete. In case if you see a mark of dowel bars due to the consistency of the mix as the paver moves forward, the same needs to be corrected manually using mason and its team. Similarly, pavers shall have a tie bar inserter to place the tie bar at the time of laying of concrete along the longitudinal directions. The oscillating beam is used to maintain the paving height with tamping features. The operation of oscillating beam in simple harmonic motion leaves marks on the faced concrete surface just behind the paver as the paver moves forward. The rolling of the concrete indicates the feeding control with respect to the paving height. Ideally, the oscillating beam, in front of the oscillating beam, you should have a formation of a concrete, a circular shape or a circular ring shape of concrete with a diameter of 150 millimeters, showing the consistency of the mix. It shows that the paving is being carried out smoothly without any loss of workabilities and without any much variation in the feeding quantities. As the diameter of the roll increases, you need to decrease the paving speed so that ultimately you will have a formation of 100 to 150 ring of concrete roll just in front of the oscillating beams. The super smoother is used to finish the paved surface. As we said, due to the presence of the oscillating beams, you can have the marks as shown in the photograph. The impression of tamping using the oscillating beams. The horizontal mass generated after passing the oscillating beams is cleared by the application of a super smoother. That means super smoother is trying to rub or finish the surface which is being showing an impression as being tamped by the oscillating beam movement. So just behind the main unit of PQC paver, and before the TCM, that is normally called texturing and curing machine, we have a mason trolley as shown in the photograph, which is generally required to remove the impression of the impressions created by the super smoother due to the wavy action of the super smoother on top of the surface or the finished surface. So what is happening is it actually reflects, it actually makes a triangular shape as it moves, because the paver is moving in X direction and the super smoother is oscillating in the Y direction. So as the paver moves, it also reduces and increases the smoothing. Like if you stand on one side of the paved surface, you can see a clear V mark being generated because of the movement of the super smoother. So that mark is being removed by the using the masons, applications of masons. Generally, 4 masons were placed on top of this trolley. The positions are fixed, and they reach out to the surface just by bending, and then using their straight edge, they try to clear the impressions being found by the super smoothers. Then just behind the mason's trolley, you can see in the photograph that we have tied the gunny bags. These bags are being used to clear off all the impressions and absorb excess slurry or moisture which is being generated on top of the surface due to the repeated actions of finishing of the top surface. Thereafter, 2 masons on either side of the paved length were generally engaged for edge preparations and finishing the sides after application of super smoother and before running the texturing and curing machine, which is normally called as the TCM. These masons are also helped to make any collapses on the sides, if at all, due to the variation in the workability of the concrete mixers which is being used for paving of PQC. So the 2 masons on either side of the paved lanes are important, or mandatorily should be kept all the time to make the edges clear and mark the position of the dowel bar insertions also at the same time. After the movement of the mason's trolley and side finishing is done manually, the texturing and curing machine, generally called TCM, moves on top of the paved surface as shown in the photograph. The first texturing is being done, which is in the direction of the main unit of the PQC paver, and behind the TCM you have the curing arrangement. So whenever this moves, first the texturing is being carried out, which marks on the surface of the concrete the required depth of texture, and then the texture surface is coated with the resin based curing compound by the application of spray as shown in the backside. So this is 2 arrangements attached to 1 unit. That's why it is called as texturing and curing machine, because first texturing is being carried out, thereafter curing is being done. The pace of construction of slabs shall desirably not less than 0.5 to 1 meter per minute. The capacity of the batching plant is generally decided should be sufficiently more than the requirement, so that the paver remains in motion without stoppage of want of mixers. That means there has to be a sync between the production of concrete, between the transportation of concrete, and then the paving speed of the paver. So if you have kept the paving speed as 0.8 meters per minute for a particular length, if X amount of quantity is required per minute, then your batching plant should be able to produce X amount per minute at least, and then the same quantity needs to be transported to the project site. And there has to be a gap which should be maintained, minimum gap, considering that there will not be any delay in the movement of the paver because of the want of the mixers. So to summarize this module, we talked about in general what should be the production, how the transportation needs to be done, what should be the dumping of the PQC mixes, how the feeding of the PQC mix to the paver is being carried out to get a uniform paving, like how to maintain the paving speed and the paving quantity and based on the feeding quantity and the production quantities. So the bottleneck is the production quantity. Production quantity is basically back calculated based on your paving speed. If you want to keep your paving speed 0.5 in the initial stage, because at least 0.5 meters per minute is required. So if you want to keep 0.5, then based on the 0.5, you need to calculate the quantity required per minute and quantity required per hour, and then based on the quantity required per hour, you need to set your batching plant and so on. Similarly, insertions of dowel bars and tie bars at the designated locations needs to be fed in the paver, and then make sure that the dowel and the tie bars are being inserted at the designated locations. Then the marking has to be done wherever the dowel bar insertion is being done, so that in the next morning when come, you can cut the initial joint just on top of the dowel bars. Anyway, we will be discussing these further in detail when we talk about the joint cutting of PQCs. Then the importance of oscillating beam in the overall paving operation. Basically, the oscillating beam is trying to maintain the height of the paved slab, which is required as per the design, so that and it also indicates how the feeding is for the particular paver. Then we talked about the importance of super smoother in the paving operation. After the super smoother, the final thing which is in the paver train, or which is there in the rigid pavement train, is the TCM machine. So that means first you have the paving machine, then you have the masonry trolley, and then you have the CTM or TCM machine, which is the last member of the paving team. Now in the TCM machine, what is being done is it is called texturing and curing machine. That means it first performs the texturing operation. Thereafter, on the textured surface, it applies the curing compound. Once the curing compound is applied, then the whole process is left for initial set, and as soon as the initial set is being done, it is being covered using a Hessian cloth or a polythene sheet, and on top of the polythene sheet you can have an Hessian cloth or a combination of Hessian cloth plus water and polythene sheet and so on. So in the next module we will be covering the details of surface texture, the tests to be conducted on surface texture, and the importance of the surface texture. Till then, thank you.